Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. So today, I have a video that I've been waiting to do for years, and I've just never done it, and you know what? Today is the day. So I consider myself a connoisseur of good music, based on what you see behind me. But, we all have that one song, well, for me, many, but, or that one album, or that one person that we know it's not great, it's not good, but God knows we love it. And for me, I have quite a few of those. And today, oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm going to talk about the one and the only guilty pleasure album. Well, not the only guilty pleasure album, but my ultimate guilty pleasure. The Paris Hilton album from 2006 entitled Betty. No, I'm just kidding. It's called Paris.
Oh, you are my guilty pleasure, so intoxicating when you know it isn't right. Whoa!
So, I was introduced to this album a couple years ago. So, I didn't grow up watching The Simple Life. I didn't really grow up listening to Paris Hilton or really any kind of pop music, if I'm being totally honest. I doubt my parents would have let me watch The Simple Life, but good God, if they had, I think I would have come out gay a lot sooner. But I was, going through YouTube one day, and it was this video that came up, and it was like, Remember the Time, from Billboard. And it was Paris Hilton, and it was, Paris Hilton remembers the time, stars are blind. And I was like, Paris Hilton had a song? Which I was not aware of. I was fully aware of who Paris Hilton was. But that was about it. I just knew she was an heiress, and she was famous for being famous. The original being famous for being famous, I might add. And, so I watched it, and I remember this video, she's sitting there like this, and she's like, yeah, I just remember when I had a song, and, it was just such a great time, stars are blind. And I was like, okay, I have to go look at this. And boy, oh boy, was I ever blown away by Stars Are Blind. But we'll save that for a little bit later. So we're going to talk a little bit about how this album came to be. So in the midst of, I believe, the first season of The Simple Life, Paris Hilton bought herself a music career. I am not going to state in this video that Paris Hilton is a good singer. I am not going to state that she is a good person or a bad person. You take her for what she is, but I will state right here, right now, that bitch is so funny, and I could watch her talk all day, every day. I'm sorry, I just could, and I like her for that. I think she's funny, I think she has a sense of humor about herself, and that's that. So, in the midst of recording The Simple Life, which has now become one of my all-time favorite shows, she began to show an interest in recording music. And from what I remember, there's no mention of it in the show, but Nicole mentions that she's going to record an album, which, never happened. But, so basically this story begins with a song on the album, which we'll get to in full detail soon, but called Screwed, in which Paris recorded and a demo leaked. But here's the funny thing, is that this song was also promised to Haley Duff. And unfortunately, as we all know, Haley Duff never had an album released, and I think that's sad, because I like Haley Duff too. So they were fighting between this song, lawsuits and everything, so the song never got a full, actual release. I believe because of the fighting that was going on between it, but the song did leak on the radio of Paris's version. And this version is a little more rock-oriented than the final mastered version, which is on the album, which I think is a little more pop. And, unfortunately, Haley Duff was dropped from the record label, and Paris got free range of the song. But that being about a 2-year, incident with that song, it kind of was like old news to her about this song. So, in 2004 to 2006, I believe it was in that time span, she started recording this album because she had money, and why not? And on August 22nd, 2006, the final album was released. And is it a pop masterpiece? No. But is it a pop, an amazing pop album? Yes. So, we're gonna go track by track into this album, and I have it pulled up here so I can go along and read through it. Basically, this album was released. She did no live performances to, give it promo. She didn't need to. She has money. What did she care? But here's the thing, and this is my full analysis of this album. It is good. And it's so much better than it has any right being. There's effort here, and it's a fun pop album, which is not something we're getting anymore. Pop is, like, to me, almost dead because there's no fun music like this anymore. But we're going to start with the beginning, which is Turn It Up, which is, let me tell you, the beginning of this song I think is so funny because it's like, oh, yeah, that's hot. You know, that's hot, her famous saying. And it's just so fun. I don't even know where to begin because, you know, there's not really much to it, but, you know, she's hot, she's sexy, she's ready to turn it up at the club. Okay, that's it. And then there's the next song, track number 2, which is Fightin Over Me, which features Fat Joe and Jadakiss. And I love it because, you know, here's one thing that Paris Hilton has that I feel a lot of pop stars today don't. Confidence. Now, granted, if I had as much money as she did, I'd probably have a lot of confidence too, but that is one thing that is a theme to me in this album. She's very confident in what she's doing, whether she sounds good or not. She's very confident, and this song is good, where she's like, every time I turn around, the boys fighting over me. And it's so funny because, you know, that's in a sense, you know, in this time, I don't know if that message is very clear or very good to have the boys fighting over you, but it definitely shows confidence, which I think is a nice thing. And then we have track number 3, which is the big hit from this album, Stars Are Blind, which is just such a really beautiful song. And it's such a summer song. It's a very light, sentimental song, which, again, not something we're seeing today. But it's just really sweet. And this was the biggest hit that she got. She got to number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 with this song. And it was well worth it. It's the best song on the album. It's the most... I think universal. Like, I think it transcends beyond Paris. Unfortunately, the song did, it was never fully proven, but it did steal a song, it did steal the sample of a song from, I believe, UB40, and I think it was like, the song's called Kingston Town. If you listen to it, the songs are different in what they're about, but the backing music is the same. So I get the lawsuit, and I get it. They should have just credited them with it. I think that would have made more sense. But then again, if they just didn't know it, and when they did it, you know, I don't know. But it definitely, I would have sued for the same thing, because it literally sounds the same. And, that is what it is. But it's such a beautiful song. If you don't want to listen to this album, just listen to that song, and it'll be worth it. And then there's I Want You, which samples the backing music from Grease. I think besides the backing beat, it doesn't really, this isn't one of my favorites, but I think it's a fun one. And then we get 2 ballads after this with Jealousy, which is, quote-unquote, the song about Nicole. At the time of this album's release, they were not friends, or at least at the time of its recording, they were not, and it's very clear that it's about Nicole. But I've shown this song to a friend, and they really liked it, because I think jealousy is an important aspect that can happen in a friendship, and, you know, it's true. So, you know, jealousy, there's that. And then there's Heartbeat, which I can't prove it, but I swear to God steals the backing beat from Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time, because I played this song for another friend, and they thought that it was that song at first, and I've always thought it was that song at first, so... Let's just hope Cyndi Lauper doesn't hear it, because she might have to sue. But, you know, Paris has got the money. I'm sure she'll be fine. But again, it's a really sweet song. It's about you're the other half of my heartbeat. And I didn't know what I was missing, but oh, baby, since we've been kissing, I feel the other half of my heartbeat. And I think that's pretty. All right. And then we have the song that should have been the big club banger of them all, but just wasn't. I think it might have gone... well on the dance club, but didn't do as well on the Hot 100. Nothing in This World. Very simple song. There's not really much to the lyrics, but the music video is so cute. I can't describe to you how much I love the music video for it. I showed it to my sister, and she was like, and she has a completely different taste in music than me, and she thought it was cute. And it's just, it's so cute. And the song is just like, I love the line, I can do what she can do so much better. I just love that. Then we have Screwed, which is the final mastered album version, which is a little more pop-oriented. I like it. I think it's really good. There's this one problem that's always bugged me in the big note where she's like, I could be the girl for you to rue. They cut off her voice in like a weird way. It doesn't fade out. It's just weird how it cuts off. I think, I don't know. That's always bothered me. Then we have the second half of the album, which I like to refer to it because I don't like this part of the album as much. Not Leaving Without You. I believe this is the song. Yeah, it is. It's the one where it's like, don't ask me for my number, because my number's undercover. Which I don't know whether I think that's a genius writing lyric or so stupid. I don't know. She didn't write a single one of these songs, so although I could be wrong, but oh no, that's the one she wrote. That's the writing credit she has. That's funny. Oh, but she must have had another one on here somewhere. Oh wait, she has more than I thought. Whoops, but that's funny. Turn You On. It's kind of like a less fun, Turn It Up. I don't really have much to say about that one. But then she has a cover of Do You Think I'm Sexy, which is by someone, I forgot who it, oh, by Rod Stewart. It's good. It's very, Paris. She very Parisified it. And that's the album. And that's the only album we've ever gotten from Paris Hilton. If you're like me, but I'm going to talk about this in another video. There have been a couple singles. One is really good. The others are eh. And the recent ones, but there's also a lot of unreleased material from Paris, which I don't know if was recorded for this album or recorded afterwards. I'm not going to go too into detail, but I think one of my favorites from them, there's one called Platinum Blonde. There is one called, oh, I really like it, Jailhouse Baby. But I'll talk about those in another video. You can look them up on YouTube, they're worth it. So fun little fact about this album is that it got decent reviews when it came out. It had mixed, I should say that, but they could have been like just like Paris Hilton, no. But one of the things I think that sticks out to me about this album is that on allmusic.com there was a review that stated that the album was more fun than anything released by Britney Spears or Jessica Simpson, and a lot fresher too. And you know what? I agree with that at this time, because this is before Blackout came out, and this is, I really am not too familiar with Jessica Simpson's musical career. But, yeah, there's that. I think what I like about this album is that it's just fun. It's a fun album, and you know, it doesn't really have a nostalgic feel for me, but I think it does the one thing that pop music today isn't doing, and it's having fun. It knows what it is, and it doesn't try to be anything more than what it could be. And you know what? There's effort in it. I know in the scheme of life, this album is gonna mean nothing. But it's such a fun album to listen to for me. And here is the fun, best part I get to talk about at the end of this video right now. In doing my research for this, as a person who loves vinyl records, and I've liked them before they were a thing again, I have tweeted Paris Hilton many times, and I mean many times, because even though I have the limited edition of this CD, which includes the bonus DVD, I want this album released on vinyl with all my heart. And finally, this year, the blessed year of 2020, Urban Outfitters is releasing Paris Hilton's album on vinyl. And I bought it today because in doing the research for this, I found out about it. And in March, I'm going to own this album on vinyl. And I've never been happier. But, so, I'm going to definitely keep this going because there's so many other guilty pleasure albums that I have. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you take the time of your day to listen to the Paris Hilton album. I think it's under 40 minutes. It's not very long, but it's fun. And if you want, I bought the CD on Amazon for $5. The limited edition CD for $5. So you definitely could easily go and get it. It's just a fun album. It's a guilty pleasure. But hey, I love it, and I hope you guys love it too.